Welcome to In the Spotlight. I'm Eric Townell. Today my guest is Jon Garland. He's a founding musician of Symphoria, the professional orchestra in Syracuse, New York. Welcome, Jon.
All right, thanks for having me.
Yes, glad you could make the trip.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a thrilling thing to start an orchestra from scratch.
Well, it doesn't happen every day, that's for sure. And it is really exciting, actually. We've had a really exciting period of time getting everything going.
Oh, my.
And of course, you know, there's the excitement of any new business starting, but especially because it's an orchestra. I mean, it's a really unique business, and a lot of challenging times, but a lot of fun times too, actually.
Oh.
So it's been really, really interesting.
Now, as a founding musician, were you on the business side as well? Talk about how that came.
Well, so the orchestra for Symphoria, we were founded by a group of musicians from the former Syracuse Symphony Orchestra and a group of community members who were very interested in the orchestra, and we worked in partnership to create the organizational structure to allow us to move ahead in a more stabilized way. The musicians had been working on some things on our own, but once we were able to enlist some support from our community partners, we were able to create an organization and, you know, a business plan, and really put things together in a way that we expect will last even longer than the former Syracuse Symphony, which lasted for 50 years. So we're, you know, we're excited about all of the possibilities that it holds. But of course, we're on the ground floor, the forefront of it, so to speak. So lots of work to do still, but we've had a really great few years now of operation.
So it's just a few?
That's right. We started in 2012, actually, in December. So we had a very abbreviated season to start with. So we've just now finished the end of our third full season.
I see.
And we're just ready to start our fourth full season. So
it is exciting.
It is, yeah, definitely. And we've had, you know, really great progress this year. Our audiences have grown by about 20%. So that's exciting for any orchestra to have 20% growth in audience. But we've also had a lot of organizational successes. We've hired our music director, Lawrence Lowe, this past year, I should say, and we've engaged a principal pops conductor in Sean O'Loughlin, who is a Syracuse native, but is also Josh Groban's music director and written music for Sarah McLachlan, a lot of different folks. So it's really nice for us to have him come home and be working with us.
How exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. So when you mentioned business model, symphony orchestras have a pretty typical one. What is Symphoria's?
Right. Well, we're organized as a musician cooperative, so our musicians have a really substantial role in making decisions about how we operate.
I see.
And that involves everything from, you know, absolutely full disclosure of all finances to the orchestra, making plans collaboratively, because our board, we still have a governing board, and it is shared amongst our community partners and our musicians. So collaboratively is really our approach for almost everything we do, and that really comes down to programming, finances, compensation. You know, all of those things are things that we try to consider together and in the whole of the organization and what's most effective for us.
So you mentioned compensation. It's a fully professional organization.
It is, absolutely. We have a core orchestra of about 50 members. I
see.
And those members are on a salaried compensation scenario. And then we engage substitute musicians, which you know, supplement the size of the orchestra. And they are very helpful to us, of course, because they allow us to perform Mahler symphonies with 50 people is a little bit of a challenge sometimes. So.
And how many weeks of concerts are you producing in a typical season?
Well, this last season was 37 weeks.
Good.
We have a winter season and then a season of Parks concerts in the summer. And this year actually we have 11 Parks concerts. So and 10 of those are free, completely free. So it's a busy time, actually, for all of us in the summer, and this summer is no different.
Now, a cooperative model for a symphony orchestra is not that common, I think.
Well, not in this country. We're one of two in this country.
I see.
The Louisiana Philharmonic is our sort of sister organization in New Orleans. And there are other orchestras in Europe that certainly do function on a more cooperative model. We really adopted the model for a number of reasons, partly because any new business is uncertain, and a symphony orchestra is maybe the most uncertain kind of business. Though I don't think we felt that. I think what we felt as the founding members was a tremendous excitement to share our passion for symphonic music with the community.
Yes.
Many of us had played in the former orchestra, and as a result, we had houses and relationships and friends. So to capture our passion and continue to share that was something that was very high on our list.
And Syracuse has a tradition of great symphony. A mentor of mine was a former music director, for instance.
Oh yes, absolutely. The Syracuse Symphony Orchestra was the 7th iteration of an orchestra in Syracuse. Many people don't realize that. So we are the 8th, actually. There is a tremendous interest in symphonic music in Syracuse, and like I said, we've had tremendous growth in our audience this year. 20% increase. We've had, I believe, 12 sold-out performances.
Oh my!
So it's really an exciting time for us.
Now, what venues are you using primarily?
Well, our Masterworks and Pops concerts are in the Krauss-Heinz Theater, which is the same place that the Syracuse Symphony Orchestra was performing.
See, Krauss-Heinz Theater in Syracuse.
That's right, right downtown. We have a Sunday afternoon series of more casual performances, and those performances are a little bit more intimate in that we will speak to the audience. Our soloists will sometimes, our conductors will. We conclude each of those performances with a reception for the entire audience afterwards, so everyone can socialize and enjoy. We also have a kids performance, or kids series, I should say, not kids performance. A number of performances in our kids series. Those we play at a new venue called Inspiration Hall. And Inspiration Hall is a renovated church with a lot of very high-tech multimedia capabilities, including cameras, and we can project images of orchestra members playing, so it's really exciting for kids. And one thing that we decided very early on in our existence was to make all of our performances free for kids under 18.
Under 18?
18 and under.
That is...
Children are free to Symphoria performances.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
That is remarkable.
Yeah, it's been really wonderful. We've had over 5,000 children attend our performances since we began to operate.
Congratulations.
So it's really exciting.
They're a real asset for the community then.
We think so. We have seen consistent growth in that demographic of our attendance. It started with parents maybe bringing their younger children, and now we see a lot of families coming, and we even see high school students coming on their own as maybe, I don't want to say it might be a date night, but I think I've seen some date nights going on, so that's been really exciting for us too.
Well, every symphony orchestra in the country would probably love to have a way to move their demographic younger.
Yeah, it's been really exciting. A donor helped us to fund that, to get it started, and so we've been able to perpetuate that since that started. It's been really great.
Congratulations. Now, so in the typical classical season, how many classical concerts are there, for instance?
So we've been offering 8 Masterworks performances, and those, we tend to focus on, more well-known, sort of our standard fare artists from other symphony orchestras.
I see.
So we'll have Garrick Olson. We've had.
You're talking about soloists now.
I'm talking about soloists. We've had like Garrick Olson and Jackie Parker and John Nakamatsu and many folks that people would recognize from other orchestra programs around the country.
I see.
And they're oftentimes playing the masterpieces of symphonic or concerto repertoire because they're Masterworks concerts. So for that demographic of our audience that really enjoys that sort of music, that's sort of the heart and soul of symphonic music, and it's very important to us. So we're, you know, offering a substantial series with those performances.
Ah, that's great. And you mentioned also the kids' concerts. Are there concerts in other venues apart from Kraus-Heinz?
Well, there are. We actually, one of the things that we wanted to do when we started to think about what would make us different. You know, we just lived through a bankruptcy when we got started. The Syracuse Symphony Orchestra filed for bankruptcy in a Chapter 7 liquidation. We really felt strongly that if we did exactly the same things that were going on before, why would we not be living through the same sort of fate? So we really were looking for things that would be different. So, you know, that's where the Kids for Free and other things have come from. But we've offered another series which we think allows us an opportunity to try some things. So we call it our Spark series. And we've had tremendous success with our Spark series. In fact, our folks who, I mean, we're looking at folks who are attending for the very first time, and we're looking at people where maybe 30 to 40% of the audience are first-time symphony attendees, meaning they've never come to another symphony concert ever before, and they're coming to the Spark series. So the Spark series is a very different sort of an arrangement. We go out of our hall, and we go to different venues. We try to come up with programs that are related to the venue that we're going to. So, for instance, we've been to the Museum of Science and Technology. And when we went to the Museum of Science and Technology the first time, we offered a program that we called the Music of Space. With that program, we thought, well, how are we going to come up with the music of space? We don't want to just play the planet. Because, you know, we certainly could. That would be space-oriented. But we thought, well, we'll think a level deeper. So we started looking at what music might be related to space. And we came upon the Voyager Golden Record, which was included on the Voyager spacecraft. And we created a concert that was based on the music that was included on the Voyager Golden Record. So we were able to do a lot of really fun music that was more of an achievement of humanity kind of a program, but related to space through the spacecraft. The museum was able to project a lot of imagery on the walls, and we had chamber music performances happening as well. So we had a musician playing in the planetarium. We had a quartet in the IMAX theater with a large projection on the screen. So it was really a very unique experience for the audience. We offer some refreshments during these performances. So people are able to move around, and it's kind of a fun experience for people. It's more of an experiential event. We've been back since with a program we called Music of Machines, which was very interesting. We had a Tesla coil and a lot of really fun things. But we've also done things at a local movie theater with a partnership with our film festival and excerpts of various films and prize-winning films from the festival that we paired with scores. We have programs this year coming where we'll be in the Hotel Syracuse, which is a historic hotel in downtown Syracuse, the subject of a $60 million renovation. So we'll be doing a program there. This building was created in around 1915, 1919. And we thought, what a perfect opportunity to try the music of Downton Abbey. When the hotel was in its height, Downton Abbey was happening in the, in the timeline of the show. And if we think about what all was happening in the world of music at that time, I mean, we're coming out of, Holst and Elgar and Vaughan Williams and moving into American jazz. So you can imagine the program that we've got planned for this. It's going to be wonderful.
And of course, there are all the microbreweries and the wineries to explore.
Well, there's going to be food and drink and all sorts of fun things there, so it's going to be really nice.
So there's a social element as well.
Absolutely, all of those have a social element, and they're less formal in that it's not necessarily a be seated and sit for 2 hours and hear the performance. They're performances that feature great masterworks of music, but presented in innovative ways.
So fascinating. It's so important for arts organizations to find their audiences where they happen to be, not necessarily in the concert hall.
Right. Well, and that's one of the reasons why this series was so important to us, that it's our opportunity to experiment with different things and see what might be appealing. If we find success in something, we oftentimes repeat it. Sometimes we don't find success and we say, let's let that one go. So, you know, but we needed an outlet for that, because we were trying to answer some of the questions related to orchestras in terms of our relevancy and what is actually attractive to an audience that is changing in demographic, which it is, so there's no doubt.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It's not same old, same old.
Well, we don't think so, and we're seeing differences already in our audiences. So with some of the things we're trying, we're attracting some new people, and hopefully keeping the ones who've been coming. But we know attracting new people is our key. So,
well, it sounds very exciting, but also challenging to coordinate. And how much staff are you able to?
Well, there is no doubt that when we got started, we sometimes would say, well, we should do this, and then we would look around and say, well, who's going to do that? And then we would look in the mirror and realize that we were going to do it. And we do that sometimes still, but we have been fortunate to hire a number of staff members. So I think we have 7 staff members now, which is good from where we started, which was with no staff members. But I think as we've continued to grow, we continue to analyze where we can fill in with either volunteer or staff help. When we got started, we really weren't sure exactly what our, we had a business plan and we had some budget projections. They had some variances in them, of course, because we weren't sure exactly, and we needed to build those variances into our plan. But since we since we have gotten started, our budget's grown to almost a little over $2 million now. So we've been growing by about 10 to 15% per year, and we expect that growth to continue for the next number of years and possibly accelerate, though we are always very careful to make sure that we don't create a financial problem for ourselves when none needs to exist. So we are very conservative in what we budget, and we of course always hope to do much better than what we plan on.
Oh, that's a very rational and some sustainable way of doing things, it seems like.
Well, sustainability is very important, obviously. We lived through a time when we did not have sustainability, so a lot of our decisions are thinking more long-term towards, we can have this today, but what about in 5 years? What will we have? So we really try to stabilize ourselves organizationally. So one of the things also I would mention about a business plan, many orchestras take subscription sales for the coming year and they spend it in the prior year. That's something that our orchestra was doing when we were the Syracuse Symphony Orchestra. That's a practice that we have stopped with our organization. When we have subscription sales for a future year, they're reserved for that future year to make sure that we can deliver what's been promised to our ticket buyers. So it's, sort of a combination of different things that we're doing to ensure stability for our future.
That's a business discipline as well as an artistic discipline.
Well, that's right. Well, and it's not just our future, it's the future of symphonic music for our community. So we take that very seriously.
Speaking of the community, are there groups in the community you regularly collaborate with on your concerts?
Oh yeah, we've been really fortunate to have a really wonderful set of collaborators. Everyone from the Everson Museum to the Museum of Science and Technology, the Children's Chorus, the Syracuse University Oratorio Society, I'm sure you're familiar with. Actually, I know you are. To the Syracuse Pops Chorus. To, gosh, there's so many. It's hard for me to name them all. But there really are quite a number. We also started a couple years ago a Spotlight series where we invite schools to come in, bring their ensembles, perform pre-concert, but on our stage. An hour before our performance, so that the students at a local high school orchestra or band can come into our acoustic space and get the experience of playing on the Krauss-Heinz Theater stage.
Phenomenal.
And for the concerts that we're able to capture with an archival recording, they get an archival recording too, which is really fun. and many schools have been super excited about that opportunity, because when the kids look out and see 2,000 seats, they really, you know, it's like a different experience.
Puts them on their game.
Yeah, and it's been really fun to watch their reactions as they come out and do that.
Now, do Symphoria musicians go into the schools as well?
Oh yeah, we have an ensemble program with musicians traveling into schools. We also offer something we call Symphoria Day, where schools come to us on a Saturday. We work with them as their director runs a rehearsal. So we are embedded with the students as they rehearse. Usually one of our staff conductors will come in and work with the kids for a little bit as well. Nice. They usually combine that with the rehearsal that we have during the day, usually a dress rehearsal. Then oftentimes they'll do some sort of a cultural tour. Either they go to our art museum or one of our other museums downtown, have dinner, oftentimes come back, and then they'll perform on our Spotlight series with the hopefully valuable information they've gained from participating in our master class, and then be available to attend the performance that evening.
Oh, that's an unforgettable day for them.
That's what we think. We're very interested in creating those sort of memorable experiences for kids, because I mean, I remember for myself, and I think many musicians do, those types of experiences that, you know, they're almost life-changing, and that they seem so special when they're happening.
Yes.
So we're trying to capture some of those and then convey them to a new group of kids, so that hopefully they'll develop the passion for music, or at least a lifelong love.
And learn the discipline from an experienced player. That is
absolutely. Many of the kids have noted that when they've been doing certain things, to have a musician from Symphoria sitting with them, and to, you know, have the stability of that, and then say, you know, I really can do it if I just kind of latch on to what you're doing. And then when they are backing out, as they get ready for their performance, they retain some portion of that, which has been really exciting.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Now, if symphonic music is not really your first love, do you play pops?
Well, we do play pops, actually. We've got a six concert series in our pop series. And like I said, we've got a really fantastic principal pops conductor in Sean O'Loughlin. He spent a lot of time doing movie scoring, and so one of the fun things for us is that he occasionally will create new arrangements, customized arrangements that, you know, it's been really interesting when we say, well, it would be perfect if we just had this for this program to fill it out. And he said, oh, no problem, I'll do that. And you know, okay, that's great. And there it is, and it comes. And, or we're working through something with a chorus, and you know, there's nothing that quite fits. And he says, I can take care of this, and I'll add a choral part here, and we'll do this, and it, you know, he's very experienced, and as I said, he's you know, working with Josh Groban continuously now, and has worked with Sarah McLaughlin and others. So you know, I'm always amazed at how fast he can work on some of these things. But this last year we saw growth in our pop series. We actually did a program called The Music of Star Wars, and it sold out so fast that we had to add a second performance of it. In the coming year, we've got, again, 6 concerts in our series, but our holiday concerts have grown to the point where we have 3 of them now. And then many of our pops concerts are being repeated because they've sold out in the last year.
Oh, that's good news.
So we're really seeing fantastic growth in that series, and the diversity of artists is also something that's really interesting for us. We're having people like Ann Hampton Calloway and Cherish the Ladies, a wonderful Irish group. We've had some new talent. We had one of the lead performers from Riverdance who came in and collaborated with us on a new Irish program, which was something that was created for her. It was wonderful, and she dances and plays, and it was just shocking. So, and it's just been really fun to see the development of the pop series this year.
Great. Now, how about performing outside of Syracuse? You mentioned the interesting venues in town, but are you in other venues also outside of this, statewide? We do travel a bit. We have been all the way to Jamestown. We'll be going to Geneva in the coming year. We certainly have connections out in Oneida County and out towards the Utica area with Hamilton College and
and Oneida and some of our other partners. So we do travel a bit with the orchestra, but certainly with our ensembles as well. We just finished a performance last week in Oswego, so right on the water. It was beautiful, and it was so perfect to have a summer performance in Oswego. Well, I know for folks here in Rochester, you're right on the lake. Of course, in Syracuse, our lake is a little smaller, so it's nice to be up to Oswego to see the big lake too. And we have a sort of an ongoing relationship there, so that's been fun for us.
And what happens in Jamestown, for instance?
Well, we've been going for a holiday performance in recent years, and you know, the orchestra sort of travels around as we either had relationships with the former Syracuse Symphony Orchestra, or sometimes we have new relationships that we've managed to build. Certainly in our summer concerts, we're all over in the summer, from Rome to the village of Hamilton, where Colgate University is, to Auburn for the 4th of July, and you know, a lot of different places. So it's been really fun to travel a little bit. Of course, you know, most of our base is in Syracuse, and we were really lucky this year to do the 4th of July at our new amphitheater on Onondaga Lake. Which is a really great venue. It seats, you know, 17,000 people, and so to have the fireworks and all the people, it was a really fun thing for the orchestra to be doing, and right on the water too. A view of the lake in Syracuse that a lot of people really would never know about if it weren't for the amphitheater being where it's at. So it's been a really interesting time for us to try some of these new places as well.
Now, if you go to a concert, can you attend a pre-concert chat, or is there any kind of information?
Well, yes, and in fact, this coming year, we have not done pre-concert chats, but this coming year we are starting them. So an hour before all of our Masterwork series, our music director will be hosting a pre-concert chat.
Terrific.
Many orchestras do them in their hall. We're going to be doing ours in a little bit more intimate sort of a way. We may be serving a little refreshment during it so that people can have a little bit of a social moment, in part because we have our Spotlight series happening in our actual venue. So we've got another space that we've reserved for patrons who really would enjoy a pre-concert chat, and we're really looking forward to getting that going this year.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Well, it sounds like there are a lot of ways for people to learn and become involved in Symphoria. Now, are you looking for musicians? Do you audition?
We do audition, and we actually have substitute list auditions early in the fall, typically, so early September.
Early September.
And then, you know, we have some full-time core openings that come open as well.
I see.
And we have managed to fill a number of those. We actually have a new principal oboe, who's a wonderful young student. She's a recent graduate of Eastman, actually, and is really just a fantastic player. And we've recently filled our principal bassoon opening as well. So we've had some really great luck with filling some of our positions, and it's really exciting to see folks coming from out of the area to be in Syracuse to play in the orchestra.
Congratulations on a story of success and stability. And so if people want to learn more about Symphoria, where do they find information?
So our website has all of the information about our performances, and that is www.experiencesymphoria, and Symphoria is spelled SYMPHORIA.org. So experiencesymphoria.org, and all of our concerts and everything is located on our website.
Well, Jon, it's just been a delight to learn all about that. Thank you so much for coming into the Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you.